Coldplay fans had a lot of positive comments about BTS singing Fix You. I remember seeing a lot of that, on YouTube comments and Twitter. So overall, Coldplay fans, they were happy with what they heard from BTS. And some of them were even like, oh, I get why everybody loves BTS now. I can see what they're talking about. But there was one person who didn't like what he heard. And this German radio DJ, Matthias Matuschik, is being criticized because he made allegedly racist remarks about BTS. So he said BTS is as awful as COVID-19 and he hopes there'll be a vaccine created for them soon. And he was really angry that they dared to cover a Coldplay song. I guess he's like a super fan or something. And he's like, how dare they brag about covering Fix You? And he said, this is blasphemy. And it's like, first of all, they didn't brag about anything. They just did it. And they had the approval of Coldplay. So I don't know how he's...
But he's angry about it? Or yeah.
Yeah, he thinks that, wow, this is blasphemy for some other...
Is it because he's a Coldplay fan or he's just anti-BTS, though?
I think he was coming at it as a Coldplay fan. But
what kind of person is a Coldplay fan? That's lame as hell, dude.
I think that's weird. I feel like most people just like them. Like, okay, if they have a good song, then I like them. Like, it's hard to imagine a Coldplay super fan.
Yeah, it's like Coldplay is... I have nothing against Coldplay. Okay, I think they're a great band.
Yeah.
And I listen to their music, and I've listened to their music since like 2000. And they're good at what they do, but how can you be passionate about them? I don't understand passion about... First of all, they're a pretty old band. Not that you can't be passionate about old bands. I guess like people are passionate about the Rolling Stones. But the Rolling Stones are different. I can see being passionate about that because it occupies such a special place in time, emotionally, culturally for boomers. Real boomers, not what kids refer to as boomers, okay? Like people who are actually like age 65 and up. But Coldplay is kind of like quality bread or milk. There's a place in this world for quality bread and milk. And when you consume it, you think, wow, that's really good bread or milk, right? And this is an important part of the world, and we need to have this kind of thing. But who's excited about it?
Yeah.
Nobody's like, oh, that's my favorite food, bread. And not just bread, but this particular high-quality bread. No, people say that their favorite food is like pizza or tacos or, or foie gras or something.
Yeah.
That's my favorite food,
something exciting.
So they're not that. They just seem sort of bland, too bland to be having diehard fans. But maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe they're diehard fans. But they just seem like bread to me. Good, but bland. So I don't know that he was coming at it from like I'm a diehard fan angle. I think he's just against BTS.
I think he was just trying to be edgy, and it's like, I'm going to speak out against this popular group. And
yeah, and that's a common thing too. And I totally understand that. I often like to be a contrarian and whatever's popular, say I'm too cool for what's popular. I'm definitely in that camp. I do that sort of thing. So I believe that's what he was trying to do here.
Yeah, and he, I don't know, just totally underestimated the response he was going to get from ARMY, or he just went way too far with it and was like getting into like racial territory and
was he though?
Pissed off everybody. He says he wasn't, but
what were his full comments? It said I read the all Kpop and it said he compared them to COVID, but I didn't see that exactly. Did he? I didn't see COVID even mentioned.
Yeah, somewhere he said he was comparing them to COVID, and he's like, I hope there's a vaccine for them. I guess he's saying they're like spreading
poison or something
too
like
far again in the world, like a virus.
I think that he's his angle is being contrarian and being against what's popular, and also being against boy bands. I think that's his angle.
Yeah, I think he was trying to be shocking.
Yeah, like boy bands aren't cool, and I'm gonna criticize them now.
Yeah, but I agree that the most shocking part of the story was not like, oh, he's racist. The most shocking thing was he's a super Coldplay fan. It's like I've never seen that.
And he said, maybe he does actually sound like a Coldplay fan. But here's the other thing about it, okay? Even though I just said I like Coldplay, let's be honest. Chris Martin is a terrible vocalist. The guy cannot sing.
I feel he's limited.
The only reason why the songs sound good, people just are used to the way he sings his songs, and they're his. So I'm like, well, they're his songs, so
Yeah.
this is the way it's supposed to sound, right? You wrote it and you sang it. It's supposed to sound like this. No, well, I'm not saying it's not supposed to sound like that, but it would sound a lot better with better vocalists. And I think that's what you heard with BTS. So to decry a superior vocalist singing a Coldplay song, I don't get that. I don't get that because he's a very limited vocalist.
Yeah, he doesn't have much range.
Yeah. And that's not to say that, oh, you shouldn't be able to sing those songs. Well, you wrote them and, you have the right to sing them.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
yeah. But we can also acknowledge that Chris Martin is not a great vocalist. So is this guy threatened by better vocalists covering the songs? Because it sort of highlights how he's not a great vocalist.
Right. It shows his inadequacy.
Yeah, I think that might be it if he is truly a super fan. I'm not going to go so far as to say it's racist because I'm not sure. I think he was trying to be edgy, trying to be a contrarian, and maybe he is a super fan and was maybe threatened by a superior vocalist covering.
Yeah, he's definitely threatened as a fan.
That may be the angle here.
And at first he tried to defend himself. He posted on Facebook a post that kind of defended what he said. And he's trying to say that, he would have said the same thing about any group that covered Coldplay because that would be equally wrong. And it's like, it wasn't about their race. But then after, a lot of people commented and was criticizing him, he released an actual apology and kind of apologized for everything he said. So that's fine. But when this story when I first saw it on Twitter, I was like, oh, okay, some dude somewhere said something against BTS. And I was like, okay, I don't really care. I'm not going to talk about it because everybody can have an opinion. It's whatever. Not everybody's going to love BTS. But then, everybody started talking about it, and then fans got upset, and I saw statements from Halsey and Steve Aoki and Lau.
A German DJ?
Yeah.
Just ignore this guy.
That's what I'm saying. It's like everybody started commenting on it, and they were like elevating this whole story. I was like, do we really need to talk about this? It's just some idiot somewhere. And now everybody's going to hear that, how this guy was saying negative things about BTS. And it's like, does this need to be like such a big story? Now everybody's going to know about that. And it's like, okay, I'm glad they have BTS's back and they're defending them, but now you're kind of making them out to be these victims, and it's like this whole narrative that I don't really think they wanted to be a part of. So I just feel like this story got way too much oxygen. It was just like, okay, this DJ has a stupid opinion. Like, we don't have to listen to it. He's just some guy like in Germany. Who cares? It's like we should all be talking about their amazing performance on MTV Unplugged, not this guy's reaction. So I just feel like, okay, this is just another example of why people are addicted to outrage and they just want to focus on negative things out there instead of like, let's just talk about the good things that are going on. So I don't know. I was just like, this story is dumb and I don't even want to cover it. But since everybody is talking about it, we have to address it.
Well, we did.
Yeah. It pretty much ended. The guy apologized, so that's that.
And nobody even knows who he is or cares about what he thinks, but they just take this opportunity, to be performative outrage, just ignore him. It's irrelevant and apparently has a stupid opinion.
Yeah, and I think that was part of it.
Tons of people are like that in this world.
That was part of it, is people wanted to defend BTS, but also they want to like, oh, look at me defending BTS.
Yeah.
It was like, let me look good.
Yeah, it's about you. It's not really about you.
It's like, I'm fighting racism, guys.
They weren't harmed by it.
Yeah, it's like if none of us were talking about it, they would have never heard about this guy's comments. So probably by now, BTS has heard. It's like, oh my God, this guy said this about us? Wow, that sucks. And maybe they felt bad about it for like a second.
I don't even think they did that.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're stronger than that. They hear, negative comments about themselves all the time. But it's like they didn't have to hear about this at all, except that, all of ARMY was talking about it and all these celebrities and stuff. So I'm just unhappy that it became such a big story.